Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. In today's video, we're going to go through new fragrance launches. So this week 2024 has been jam-packed when it comes to fragrance launches. There are so many new ones coming out. I thought of doing a video like I did for Fendi whenever Fendi was going to launch their new fragrances and kind of going through the notes and breakdowns. I can do that if you want me to. But there are so many to tackle in this video that I don't want to make it super long. So I will kind of just go through each fragrance that, is coming out from each line and kind of skim through the notes to see what we think of them. So the first ones that we have coming out are from Christian Dior. Christian Dior is launching Sauvage Forte, which is a water-based fragrance, kind of like what they did with J'adore, which was making it natural, if you will, no alcohol in it. I'm not sure what this obsession of making things water-based and non-alcohol is, because alcohol technically is not, it's not really bad for you necessarily. And it's supposed to launch sometime here in the next following week, so that'll be exciting. I don't know what you guys think. I think Sauvage is kind of hefty now. How many do they have? There is the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, the Elixir, and now this one. So that makes 5 different fragrances from Christian Dior, which is quite a lot. Based on the notes, this one is just kind of easy peasy. It's musk, spices, white lavender, and woods. And I don't see Ambroxan listed anywhere, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Valentino. Well, before we get to Valentino, Dior is also launching what they're called their Esprit fragrances. It's not really clear because it's not showing up on their website yet, but it looks like they're kind of just extrait versions or pure parfum versions of already existing fragrances. They have Oud Ispahan, they have Gris Dior, and I'm pretty sure they are going to be very, very expensive as well. So what do you think of that? I do love the La Collection Privée by Christian Dior. I just don't know how many. They already have lotions. They have the body creams as well. There's the hair mists in some of them and the perfume. So now we're going to get I'm assuming it's an Elixir or Pure Parfum. So I don't know, it's kind of making it a little bit hefty. I can see why they're doing it though. If they're selling a lot of the ones that are popular, then why not make it into a different formulation? So I don't know. What do you think of this one? Valentino. So there are 2 different fragrances that are coming out by Valentino, one for men and one for women. These are both going to be the mainstream collection. So we have Donna Born in Roma Gold, and we also have Uomo Born in Roma Gold, and they are both kind of just flankers of the Born in Roma line, and I think that they will sell a lot. I think this brand actually sells a lot of their mainstream fragrances as it is, so that's kind of exciting. I mean, I've smelt it, and I love Valentino as a brand. I think it's one of my favorite couture houses in the world, and I don't know how I'll like it now with the new creative director that's doing fashion for them, but I did like it under Pier Paolo. With that being said, L'Oreal has taken over the manufacturing. I think it's been a few years now for Valentino, and since then we kind of have started to get the plain Jane generic Armani code flanker type of smell in almost every fragrance for men. So because of that, I'm not super excited about either one of these. I probably won't be getting a bottle of them myself because it's just not for me. The next one is by Jimmy Choo, and it is called I Want Choo the Parfum. It's called Le Parfum. So it's supposed to be a darker version of I Want Choo, which is that little bottle that has the J and the C on it. Kind of cute little bottle, actually. And yeah, I mean, nothing super special here. Another brand that I really don't touch. I remember working for Dior, and I hated Jimmy Choo fragrances. They were just like Paris Hilton fragrances to me that were repackaged into a Jimmy Choo logo, and yeah, just not for me. Let's get into the fun stuff. So there are 3 different houses that are launching new lines, starting off with Christian Louboutin. They have 5 new fragrances which are in the same packaging. Essentially, it's going to be bigger obviously, but it's in the same packaging that they actually package their nail polishes in. They look like daggers or weapons. Very beautiful packaging, by the way. It's very different from anyone else on the market. And Christian Louboutin, I only have one in my collection from the brand itself. And I have to say that the packaging is just spot on. It's perfect, it's heavy, it's premium, it's expensive. So you are spending quite a bit of money on these, but I will say that they do have really beautiful packaging. So there are 4 or 5 of them, I'm sorry. And the first one is called Cuir. This is going to be a fragrance that has musk, osmanthus, and suede. It's supposed to be a leather scent, obviously with a cuir or cuir. That's how you say it in French, I think. We also have Ambre, which is going to be black amber, green tuberose, and patchouli. That sounds really good as well. We have one that's done by Paul Guerlain, which I haven't seen him do fragrances in a bit. So we have Le Incense, which is going to be the incense fragrance, which is going to have black pepper, frankincense, fresh notes, and woods. And this is the one that is by Paul Guerlain, which very exciting. I think that's one I'm interested in. We also have Le Iris, and this is just going to have patchouli and iris. And then we have Le Ebony, which is going to have cedarwood, coconut, and ebony. You'll start to see that a lot of the fragrances that are currently launching have this note of coconut oil. In fact, Born in Roma by Valentino, the women's version, also has coconut in it. So I'm starting to see this as a trendy note. I've seen a lot of brands actually include this note. I actually kind of like it. So I don't know what you think about it, but I do like the smell of coconut in itself. So I can see where it can be added to fragrances to make them a little bit more tropical, if you will. So I don't know. What do you think about this new line by Christian Louboutin? Valentino is launching a private line of fragrances, and there are quite a few of them. There are 5 different ones in this range, and I didn't write perfumers for this one because all of them are just a collaborative effort. If you didn't know, Valentino is marketed by L'Oreal Luxe, which is essentially the same brand that does Yves Saint Laurent's fragrances. At least they do all of their cosmetics as well as Armani. But the Armani Privé fragrances, which are the private line, they also do the Vestiaire collection for Yves Saint Laurent. That is also a private line, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful fragrances, but I don't know. The packaging is just not it for me, because the lid itself has the rock studs, which is very symbolic for House of Valentino. The bottle's very kind of generic, plain Jane. And then the label. If you look at that label, it's just so freaking cheap. It looks awful. Now, I always wanted Valentino to launch their own private line because, again, I love this brand. I love their heritage. They have so much potential to do beautiful things and to become a Dior or Chanel in the world of fashion. But these bottles are just, they're not what I expected from this brand. I know that they were going to include the rock stud in some capacity, but to use it in that regard, I actually like their regular bottles you can get at the department stores more than these, which is a lot. But let's get into the fragrances. They have some pretty interesting names. We have Behind the Scene, and that's spelled behind the S-E-E-N. This one is going to be a very green, woody scent. It's going to have geranium, hazel, orris root, as well as cedarwood, vetiver, and sandalwood. So a very green, woody scent. You can actually tell what this one's going to be based on the color of the actual fragrance. I did do a poll on all of these, and this is probably the one that ranked the lowest because of the color. I think people thought, it's going to be a green. Typically, when I see green fragrances, I think they're going to be very boring, unless they're done very well, like number 19. But this one seems solid, if you will. It's not anything super great to marvel at. Then we have Club Couture, and this one seems pretty interesting. This one's going to have the notes of bergamot, bitter orange, mandarin orange, fig, orange blossom. We're also going to get orris root, as well as patchouli, cedarwood, and milk. Plus the name itself, I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like night clubbing, if you will, by Celine. I hope so. I hope we're somewhere in that ballpark. This one I'm excited for. It's probably one of the ones that I really, really want to try. Then we have Romantic Punk, which is going to be a deep kind of purple color, and this one seems pretty interesting as well. It's going to have black pepper, juniper berry, olive wood, bourbon vanilla, and musk. So olive wood. I don't know if I know what olive wood smells like. So I'm excited about that, to see what that one's like and if it's good or not. This isn't one, like I said, that I'm, marveling at or, very excited about. I'm more excited about Club Couture than this one. The other one we have is called The Innocence de Air, which is the innocence of the air, I'm assuming is what the translation is. I will put it down here below. But the notes for this one are going to be Angelica Seed. We're going to have Green Mandarin. We're going to have Damask Rose Ambrette Orange, Rose Centifolia Seed Absolute, as well as a trademark registered note, which is Sudidalora, a synthetic note essentially. This one's kind of boring, if you will. It's going to be a freshy fragrance that's going to be light, kind of like laundry. I think they all need one of these in their actual line. It'll probably sell a lot because it's popular, it's light, it's easy, it's wearable. But this is not one that I would actually recommend myself for getting. Valentino is charging $330, and this one itself, they could have probably launched without. The next one is another interesting one, which is called Private Talk, and this one has ginger CO2, which CO2 is the way that they extract the actual note or the essence of perfume. There's HO2, I believe, and there's CO2, and there's more than that. It also has cappuccino. This is very interesting. I have not seen a fragrance that actually has a note of cappuccino in it. I've seen coffee and other things that are, you know, I've seen latte as well, not cappuccino. So this is very interesting because the brand is obviously Italian. This drink is Italian, so very exciting. We have also Tuberose Absolute. Tuberose Absolute, again, they're both from different regions. We have Ylang Ylang Sandalwood, Virginian Cedar, and White Musk. So this one is captivating. I think that I don't know, this one just makes me want to go out and smell it to see what it's actually all about, because you have some pretty unexpected notes playing with each other here. So the ginger mixing with cappuccino, not a combination I would actually pick myself, and I wouldn't think it would smell good. We also added the white floral element with that tuberose. So this is going to be either really good or really bad. The liquid itself is kind of like that tuxedo kind of color, which is kind of that ambery orange brownish type of color. A beautiful color for a fragrance. The one that we have is Sogno in Rosso, which I probably just butchered that. It is a red fragrance, which is obviously inspired by the color of red, which is a trademark for the House of Valentino. He always made a red dress in this shade, and it is symbolic to the House of Valentino. I'm excited that they're putting it into their fragrances. And the notes for this one kind of, they're pretty interesting. So we have black pepper, juniper berry, petitgrain, frankincense, milk, orange blossoms. We also have ambergris, bourbon vanilla, and sandalwood. This is kind of, aside from the rose, I don't know, looking at this fragrance is kind of giving me Armani's Rouge Malachite type of smell. I think that's what we'll go for. Or it could also be something like Yves Saint Laurent's Rouge Velours. So I don't know. This is probably one that I want to test out just because my favorite color is technically red. I don't wear red because I look awful in it, but I do love the color red. I was going to go through the Paco Rabanne fragrances in this list as well, but the video is getting a little long, so I would do a separate video for Rabanne and their new launches. So let me know down in the comments, which of these are you excited about? Do you want to try any of them? Which would you like to see on the channel? It's very hard for me to go out and I'm one channel. I have my own budget, you know, and it's just me buying these fragrances to bring them to you so you don't have to spend your money if you don't like it. So because of that, it's a little hard for me to go out there and get all these launches. I don't have the budget to do it. If I did, I would review all of them for you. So just be, you know, kind of mindful of that and be patient with me, please, because I'm trying to get them on the channel. I haven't even done a Fendi one yet, but I am trying to get a Fendi fragrance here on the channel so we can review it and, you know, see if it's good or not. So don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fragrance related content. Until next time, you guys, take care.